大家好，我是英国杰克，这是我亲爱的妈妈。
大家好，我是英国老妈。
Mum, I've got a really special video for us today, and that is because I received an invite from the BBC to do an interview all about China and Chinese culture.
Wow.
Now, some of my viewers will be taking a gasp of air because, let me tell you the truth, the BBC in China has a little bit of a mixed reputation.
Oh.
So they do love things such as Downton Abbey or Blue Planet or programmes like that. But often they might think when it comes to reporting on China, it might be a little bit inaccurate.
我现在正式应聘 BBC 新闻记者，我有一定的制造新闻能力，遵循先有结果后有证据的原则。
So it's quite a lot of pressure for me to go onto the BBC to talk about Chinese culture. So shall we take a listen? Let's see. I might make some embarrassing mistakes. I'm sure my viewers are going to type and say, Jack, what you said about Chunja wasn't correct. I hope that I did okay. There's a few dicey moments in it, which I'll let you see. But yeah, shall we take a watch of it? You've not heard it before, have you?
No.
You didn't get a chance to listen to it at the time, because when it was broadcast, you were at work.
That's right.
Fingers crossed I don't embarrass you, Mum.
You won't.
And fingers crossed I don't embarrass all of my Chinese fans, who I'm sure are going to be listening out for those mistakes. But yeah, let's get into it.
Right now, we are celebrating alongside our Chinese community across Yorkshire, Northern Lincolnshire and North Derbyshire, Chinese New Year, which begins on Tuesday, and it's the year of the tiger.
She got that right.
Jack is here.
That's me.
Yay!
So come fat chow to you. How are you?
What was she saying there to you?
So this was a bit of a curveball straight away. You're going to find out in a moment, because you don't understand what she's saying there, do you?
No, I've not heard that.
But you know how to say Happy New Year in Chinese?
Yeah.
I'm fantastic, thank you. Very good to be with you.
It's lovely. Thank you for being with us. I really do appreciate it. Now, there are other ways of saying that. According to, I was saying this to Michelle just now. Is Gong Hei Fat Choi, is that acceptable to you? Or have you got another version?
So it's absolutely acceptable. That would be the Cantonese way of saying Happy New Year, which is language that is spoken in the southern part of China.
Yes.
Putonghua, which is Mandarin, which is a more standardized language, it would be Xinian Kuai Le, which again is just Happy New Year. But yeah, both are acceptable. It's just different forms of language spoke across the country.
When she first said that, I was so nervous, because they've invited me on as like a Chinese cultural expert, as a British person, and somebody that can speak Chinese. Now, I hadn't actually said in my email to her that I can speak Mandarin. So when she first started speaking Cantonese, I was so nervous. Like, are they going to test me on my Cantonese? Because I can't speak any Cantonese. Fortunately, having said it, she then goes on to say, oh, is that the right way to say it? Is that the most common way? So at the very start of the interview, I was crapping myself.
Xinian Kuai Le.
Yeah.
How many languages or Chinese dialects do you speak?
Gosh. So I am British. So my Chinese that I decided to study was Mandarin, obviously being the most standardized one. It would be exceptionally difficult to try and learn more, because often, say for example with Cantonese, even though they share the same character script, so both different language groups can read and write in the same way, the audio of it is completely different language. So I'm afraid I'll have to say I can only speak one foreign language, and that is Mandarin.
Which is very impressive, because, and I know that one of our universities, Leeds, does specialise and has done for years in Mandarin, but that's across the board. And they used to say, learn, a European foreign language, and then it changed about 20 years ago. Learn Chinese.
Yeah, I think being able to speak one form of Chinese language, Mandarin, is really impressive. So I'm giving you the thumbs up, because I think it's really impressive.
I didn't expect her to ask that. So you can speak Mandarin, but how many multiple dialects of Chinese can you speak? Can you speak Fujianhua? Can you speak Cantonese? Can you speak Hakka? Can you speak all these different varieties? No, just the one.
So, for example, I heard you asking, what does the year of the tiger mean?
Yes, what does it mean?
Your last caller. So I've got a prepped answer for that exact question.
Thank you.
The year of the tiger means you are helpful, passionate, confident, optimistic, and righteous.
So this is where I need to double check with my viewers. Was I correct about the meanings of the year of the tiger? What the tiger represents? What did it say? Passionate, optimistic, confident, righteous.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is that is correct.
Your understanding. Thanks, Mum.
Well, because I was born in Year of the Tiger.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, so I've looked it up now. I think that sounds like me.
Yeah, you are very righteous.
And I think that righteous one can be both positive. It also is like a tiger's attitude as well. It can be quite ferocious. So, some really great attributes there. I think optimistic is a good one for the upcoming year.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I know how big a deal this is with our Chinese communities across our region. I happened to be in Hong Kong one year for Chinese New Year. We're going back a bit, even before the handover, and how celebratory and traditional and colourful and noisy the whole thing was. It is a huge deal.
It's a massive deal, yeah. I mean, if you want to relate it to our culture, it's their version of Christmas.
I always say this when I'm speaking to British or Western friends that don't understand the importance of Chinese New Year. I think it's always really important to make relatable comparisons for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people struggle to fit it into their own world. So I always say, even though it's not completely accurate, I mean, Spring Festival isn't the same as Christmas, is it? It's a different time of year and it's got all different meanings to it and it's not based on the Bible. However, that being said, I would say it's the most similar festival if you want to tell people about the importance of family and the significance of it within the society. So, yeah.
I think that's a good comparison.
It's the most important festival of the year where you spend time with your family, you eat special foods. It's all about being together with loved ones, and there's huge amounts of like cultural history related to it, whether that's the lion dances that you might have seen, whether it's the setting off of fireworks, whether it's the watching of Chunwan, which is the New Year's TV gala, which is the most watched TV show across the whole world, or the giving of hongbao, which is red envelopes.
Yeah.
Where was my hongbao this year, Mum? Because you know hongbao is for the older family members to give the younger family members.
Which I think you might have seen. It's when the older generation will give the younger generation money, just like we would give Christmas presents.
I like red envelopes. I would like a few of those. That would be brilliant.
I've got one here, actually. That's a red envelope. Did you see that there next to the panda?
Oh, yeah.
You be celebrating and the community in the whole.
Unfortunately, due to coronavirus, we can't enjoy it in the spectacular way we might have done in the past, which is where we'd hold an event and we'd be inviting people to actually taste food and giving them hongbaos and that type of thing. Myself personally, I will be watching Chunban.
And I did do this. I actually live streamed it, and I
You
did 2.5 hours, but it got taken down by YouTube. For copyright, which is understandable. I just thought I'd give it a try.
The TV programme tomorrow.
What is that? What is that it's so huge?
See, this is the thing, right? British people have heard of Chunman, which is quite remarkable because most of them will never have watched it, but a lot of people have heard of it. Maybe they're not quite sure what it is. I don't know if I told you, by the way, when I live streamed it, loads of people were like, Jack, why are you watching this? This is embarrassing. Because I think it's like young people in China watch it so often, and it's that thing that you watch with your family, that they're kind of a bit tired of the content of it. Yeah. I really enjoyed it personally because it was all really fresh to me, and like I found the jokes funny, and I hadn't seen like the plays on it and the performances before, but I guess if you're a Chinese person, it's like, I've already seen this like 20 times. Yeah.
So I would say the British equivalent is the Royal Variety Show. It is a gala, and it invites all different types of entertainment forms to perform on what is the night before Chinese New Year. So essentially like Christmas Eve. And it's a marathon. It goes on for so long.
Right, question I've got for you. I consider, in my understanding of Chunjie, it's a whole month of celebrations, but the most important celebrations are the first week. But what I want to ask is, the most important time of Chunjie, if I was to ask the most important time of Christmas period, it would be Christmas Day, 25th of December, eating dinner together.
Definitely.
25th, right?
Yep.
Chunjie, I understand the most important time to be Chuxi, which is the night before Chunjie, which is the meal that you eat with your family. So, am I correct when I think that? I always think of that. That's the most Chunjie-esque time. The night before, eating the reunion meal with your family. Is that correct? Let me know.
So you've got forms of comedy, forms of modern entertainment, peaking opera, traditional forms of entertainment, dancing. I think it goes on for about 5 hours. It's really something if you can watch it from start to finish, which I'm going to try tomorrow. Whether I can, do that.
And you've mentioned,
I'm not sure.
You mentioned special food, and what did you say? Was it a guamba? What was the
guangba? I don't have a clue what she was referencing here. This was another nerve-wracking moment where I was like, guangba? What is she talking about? If you know what she's saying, let me know.
The thing you thought you'd eat that's different.
So the special food for New Year, the associated food for New Year, it's actually different across the whole of China. Obviously, China is like the size of a continent. So to try and pin down what people might eat can be difficult. But I'd say the most common thing, and this typically is by people in northern China, is jiaozi. And they will eat that on, again, the day before Chinese New Year.
What is it?
Jiaozi.
Right, here's nerve-wracking. I remember when she was saying to me, what is jiaozi? In my mind, I was just like, well, jiaozi's a jiaozi. How do you not know what jiaozi is? But obviously a British person might never have heard of jiaozi.
Is it a dumpling?
So that's the word that you want to use. You want to use dumpling. But when she first asked me, I couldn't get that word in my head. I couldn't get the English word because I just know the word jiaozi. I don't know the word dumpling. I don't speak English talking about Chinese food. So I think I say dumpling. Let's have a listen.
Is like a dumpling really. It's like a pastry outside dumpling with lots of different flavors on the inside. It can be meaty, it can be vegetable. It's really succulent. It's very moist. And I will guarantee you that every Chinese person in the generation of 40 or above is a fantastic cook of them. It's a skill.
Is that your experience as well? I feel like every Chinese person that's over 40 has a really good technique on making jiaozi. The older generation are normally better than the younger generation. That's my experience anyway. And if you're talking over 60, then they definitely can make jiaozi.
That the older generation all absolutely have. And it's a real, I can't think, what's the family equivalent word in Britain? The whole family
Yorkshire
gets involved
pudding.
in cooking it.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, it's like a Yorkshire.
She said Yorkshire pudding and I just agreed with her. But to be honest, Yorkshire pudding is important because we have it in our Sunday meal every weekend, which is, people think we have fish and chips all the time, but we don't. It's called a Sunday roast. I'll put a photo of it now. But Yorkshire pudding, we don't all get involved in making it. It's not all different members of family making it. Whereas jiaozi, you have them on the kitchen table and everyone's forking them and mixing the mixture together. So I don't think Yorkshire pudding is the equivalent. I don't think there is a British equivalent.
No.
Where the whole family has a role in making the food.
No, I suppose it's the nearest equivalent because people hand down their batter recipes. But it's not a very complicated thing to make a Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, it's not a great comparison.
No.
Pudding, there's so much effort that goes into it, and everyone makes them from scratch. There's no buying Aunt Bess's. At the New Year, everyone makes them from scratch.
Aunt Bess's is a common commercial product in the UK.
With already made Yorkshire puddings and you just heat them up.
Yeah, so
there's no cooking involved.
In China, nobody just buys them already made on Chuxi. They make them themselves. I mean, I'm sure there are some of you in China that do buy the jiaozi pre-made for Chuxi, but I would say most commonly people make them themselves. Whereas in the UK, I would say 90% of people just buy the Yorkshire pudding made.
But then in the south, I guess people will eat quite a wide variety of dishes. So if you spent some time in Hong Kong, you probably know them, whether it's the dim sum, different types of small dishes, or fish. Fish can also be popular because it sounds a little bit like, the word for fish sounds a little bit like having success for the whole year. So it's a bit of a word play.
So success for the whole year, it's not success for the whole year, it's like fish for the whole year. And that's what my poster behind says, nian nian you yu. So as I understand, that's why people eat fish in the south, because there's a positive association around the sound of that phrase. And so you eat fish.
But yeah, lots of different things.
Thank you for demystifying and explaining, and it's lovely to meet you. Thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I know far more about it now. Thank you.
So I'll just leave you with Sinny and Kuai Lo, which is a Happy New Year. All right.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Kong Hei Fat Chow. To you, Chinese New Year.
Right then, Mum, so that was your first listen to my nerve-wracking interview on the BBC, all about Chinese culture and China. How do you think I did?
Well, I think you did really well, and I think that your mastery of the Chinese language is impressive, and I think you did a good job of sharing a flavour and giving a good comparison. of Chinese New Year.
Yeah, well, you guys can let me know in the comments how did I do. I might not have been perfect, but the most important thing is I brought positive attitude, and I was really happy to talk about it. And actually, 99.9% of Brits are really interested in aspects of Chinese culture and the new year and hearing about the food that you eat. And the interview was actually really upbeat and positive, wasn't it?
I thought so,
Yeah, so yeah, it was good.
Good, well done.
Right then, guys, so we know it's a couple of weeks already past New Year, so we're not going to tell you 新年快乐 because too much time's already gone, but we will leave it there for today. 如果你喜欢这期视频，请给我点赞. I guess that means now we're going to have to go make some Yorkshire puddings, Mum, from Fresh, and maybe go watch your favourite BBC programme, Strictly Come Dancing.
Or Downton Abbey.
By the way, you asked, is Strictly Come Dancing on in China, like a Chinese Strictly Come Dancing? I know ballroom dancing is super popular as a sport there, but do you have the TV programme where celebrities go on and they learn dancing for the first time? Ballroom dancing, not like street dancing. Because I know there's the China street dance that we've watched before, which is called, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. Anyway, China street dancing, let us know. And yeah, 下次再见，拜拜。
Bye-bye.